What is up, YouTube? It's your girl Evelyn, and today I want to highlight some upcoming shows and films featuring queer lady characters. So sit back, enjoy the video, and if there are any upcoming shows or films I missed, please let me know in the comments. Chasing Amy is a upcoming documentary that explores chasing Amy, the controversial 90s rom-com about a man who falls in love with a lesbian who turns out to be not enough of a lesbian for him.
Well, where's the penetration in lesbian sex? A finger? Okay, I've had my finger up my ass. I wouldn't say I've had anal sex.
Chasing Amy is a pretty unique documentary because it's not just about the film's nebulous legacy or the ways in which it fails its own main subject, but Chasing Amy is also a latent coming-of-age treatise for its director, Sav Rogers, who unwittingly became the main character of his own film.
I'm directing a project about the legacy of Chasing Amy as an LGBTQ film.
Do you find the film to be authentic to the LGBTQ community?
I find it authentic to the straight dude who falls for a queer woman community.
In 2018, Sav gave a TED Talk entitled The Rom-Com That Saved My Life, which I will link in the description because I think it's fantastic, funny, and heart-wrenching, and because despite Chasing Amy's problematic portrayal of bisexuality, it was still a life-saving piece of media for a 12-year-old queer kid from Kansas. So much so that he made a whole-ass movie about it, and I for one cannot wait to watch Chasing Amy November 1st in select theaters.
I was raised by wolves. I was born to lead.
After 3 very long years, the best, and I mean the absolute best show of 2021 has finally returned.
You were right, Kate. My sister is gone. There's only Jinx now.
Arcane is back for its second and, unfortunately, final season. Now, for those of you who've never watched Arcane, it's an adaptation of one of the most popular online games in the world, League of Legends, and it tells the backstory of several of the league's iconic champions, including Vi, an ex-con on a mission, and Caitlyn, a well-to-do young woman looking to shake off her privilege. And not to sound like too much of an Arcane fangirl, but it truly is a show that has something for everyone. It's a crowd-pleasing underdog tale, the animation is stunning, the music along with the writing is superior, and there is literally no one that I would not recommend this show to. And if you're interested in a more in-depth review of Arcane, definitely check out my Patreon. Also, if you haven't watched the recently released Arcane Season 2 music video, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, performed by the phenomenal Cheryl Lee Ralph, you must watch it. It absolutely blew me away and got me so incredibly pumped for Season 2 of Arcane, which dropped November 9th on Netflix. Emilia Perez is a somewhat controversial French musical crime thriller set in Mexico about a cartel boss who fakes her own death, then gets gender-affirming surgery and changes her name to the titular Emilia Perez.
It is Emilia Perez.
Emilia.
Perez.
Emilia.
Now, as I mentioned before, Emilia Perez is a bit of a divisive film, with several trans film reviewers not exactly loving the way it handles the plot surrounding Emilia's gender reassignment, as well as a few other things that are incredibly spoilerific, so I won't go into detail, but let's just say there are some old LGBTQ tropes that may or may not rear their ugly heads. Emilia Perez will be dropping November 13th on Netflix. I just want to briefly mention a couple of returning shows and upcoming films that may or may not include gay lady characters. First up is Sprint, the World's Fastest Humans. The Netflix docuseries that dropped in July of this year is already back with a second season, which is sure to include fellow Sapphic Sha'Carri Richardson, as well as chronicle her journey to the 2024 Paris Olympics. The Sex Lives of College Girls is also back with its third season, which will include everyone's favorite gay, Renee Rapp, who reportedly appears in a handful of episodes this season. It's also worth noting that a new queer lady character will be joining the cast this season. Also, the Aubrey Plaza coming-of-age dramedy My Old Ass, which dropped in theaters in September, will be available to stream on Amazon Prime November 7th. And last but not least, Megan Thee Stallion, in her own words, is an intimate documentary about superstar rapper Megan Thee Stallion, who also happens to be family. Now, the documentary premiered October 31st on Amazon Prime, which is practically November.
But if you're leaving, no, I'll stay beside that.
Janet Planet is an A24 coming of age, which already tells you everything you need to know about it.
It's gonna hurt. You might puke.
But this time, instead of following a sad father and his child, we get to follow a sad mother and her child.
Every moment of my life is hell.
You actually seem very happy to me a lot of the time.
It's hell. I don't think it'll last, though.
I'm actually pretty unhappy, too.
Janet Planet is set in the 90s and tells the meandering story of a single mom with commitment issues and her despondent child with mommy issues as they, navigate life, probably. The mother has several suitors in the film, one of whom seems to be a woman, but
I don't know. Probably not.
There's also a scene in which the kid asks if it's okay if she ends up being into girls, so there you go. You can check out Janet Planet November 1st on HBO Max. Cruel Intentions is back. Well, kind of. After 2 failed attempts at a Cruel Intentions television series, the homies at Amazon Prime have stepped up and done the unthinkable. They actually made a Cruel Intentions television series.
Thanks, I guess.
You know what they're not gonna do? Kick the vice president's daughter's sorority off campus.
She's not even rich because her dad's on a government salary.
There are more important things than money, Cece.
Since when?
Just like the film, the series will focus on 2 probably evil step-siblings and their quest to corrupt an innocent girl. Only this time, the innocent girl happens to be the vice president's daughter. Now, if you watched the original Cruel Intentions, I'm sure you'll remember its rather infamous lesbian kiss, which served as mere titillation and nothing more, which is why I'm not expecting the reboot to do much in the way of sapphic romance, but if you want to check it out for yourself, Cruel Intentions premieres November 21st on Amazon Prime. That is it for the video. As always, I have to give a shout out to my big spender patrons, Angel, Mary, Angie, and Lucia. And if you want even more content from me, Patreon is the place to be. And don't forget to let me know which upcoming release you're most looking forward to, and I'll see you in the next one.